We want to revisit the tragic execution by a Grand Rapids race soldier out of Michigan, the brother that's from the Congo. His name was Patrick Lyoya. Now, this brother immigrated to this country when he was young. And if you have not seen the video already, it's out there. You know, I have a policy that I'm not going to be showing the outright executions of black people. I think that hurts black people psychologically. It hurts us, you know, give us anxiety. It brings, you know, PTSD, even though people say, well, it's good to see something like that. So we know, listen, there's been enough videos of that. I've shown them and I've come to the realization, keep showing that it's just not really a good thing. But prior to this brother getting killed, there was a man by the name of George Floyd. And we all seen in real time how George Floyd was taken away from the earth. It was something that was very, very gruesome. It was horrible. You know, Derek Chauvin did this with his hands in his pocket. The whole world saw this, and it galvanized the whole world to come out and speak about injustice of what happened to George Floyd. A lot of black people took to the streets because there was no justice. They did not want to arrest the race soldier whatsoever. And black folks said no, and they had an uprising, and it cost the city a lot of money. Many people all over the country was protesting about this. People from all over the world was protesting about George Floyd. And around that time, it was another election. And the election was between now former President Trump and Joe Biden at the time. And the Democrats came out, ladies and gentlemen, and they told you, they told me, that if we can just come out and galvanize the vote, we can get, you know, Trump and his racism, you know, out of office. We can do police reform. We definitely can do that. They was having these HR 40 hearings at the time, if you remember that. And everybody was up there, you know, with ADOS and all that, you know, for a whole study. Because, you know, they had to have a study. It couldn't be just go ahead on and cut your check now. But we got to see later with the virus that they can cut checks without no study in the trillions. And it's no problem. That's that runaround that they do to black people. But OK. So the Democrats said that if you just come out and vote, we can do this police reform. We saw what happened to George Floyd, and we got to do something about it. And so black folks helped flip the state of Georgia blue in an election when it's normally a red state. Black folks came out in large numbers. Many said they was afraid of Donald Trump and his racism. This is what a lot of black folks are saying. Some black folks said that, and one said to me that they just wanted to go back to regular racism. We shouldn't have none of that at all. But he said regular racism because he didn't like that, you know, the white supremacists was coming in their face and telling them how they really feel, not hiding it. That scared a lot of black people. So the Democrats got in office. And before even the Democrats got in office, Joe Biden had a meeting with the Boule civil rights so-called leaders. They're not my leader. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you who's listening, they're not your leader either. You didn't elect them and you didn't select them. They don't talk to you. They don't even talk to me. None of them do. So what do you mean a leader? A leader talks to the people, right? So there was a meeting and Joe Biden was telling them that if the white population becomes in the minority, we're going to be doomed. He said this to black folks and they stayed quiet. This is the Democrats were saying this, not Republicans. Now, could you imagine if Trump said that? How black folks would be acting? But he said that about the white population being in the minority, we're going to be doomed. Then he also said that black folks must work with the Hispanics. He said because they more in number than y'all. Yeah, because y'all open up the floodgates and let them all in here. Let's call it what it is, from all over Latin America. And you got a bunch of strong young men coming in here too. Not women and children, a bunch of young men. You know what I'm saying? So you let all of them come over here. Black folks can't have enough children to keep up with that at all. So of course they're going to outnumber, black folks in certain areas, right? But yet there was no pushback at the time when Biden said that about black folks got to work with the Hispanics. Hispanics shouldn't even been brought up in a conversation about black people. Would they have no bearing on what we're talking about whatsoever? So why are you bringing them up? So as the Democrats got in office, you saw immediately what they started to do, prioritizing everybody else except you. And it happened over and over and over and over again. And many of the Democrat shills would say, well, just got to give him some time. He got a lot on his plate. Yeah, give him some time. And some time was given. And he started doing a lot of symbolism politics. People say, give him some time. Because that was the old thing that people said about Barack Hussein Obama. Just give him some time, y'all. Well, if he get reelected, he could really do something because he ain't got to worry about being elected again. So he could really do something for black people. Remember they used to say that about Obama? And Obama didn't do nothing for black people, but did something for everybody else. Obama's executive order on dreamers staying in America, he did it in a way it's hard for even the Supreme Court to even get rid of it the way he did it. Because in Obama, he was a lawyer, and Obama, he went to the Ivy League. He's not a dummy. Not at all. But yet Obama didn't do anything for us that the Supreme Court have a difficult time unraveling. Not whatsoever. So the Democrats got in office, and every time you kept looking up, they were doing something for everybody else but us. Then you get to the George Floyd police bill, right? And they didn't get anything done. The qualified immunity is still there. Everything is the way it always have been, because Biden said that when he get in office, everything's going to go back to where it was. It's not going to be no fundamental change, which is racism, white supremacy, attacking black folks wholesale. And that's what has happened. Now, 2 years later, when black folks went out there in the middle of a global pandemic to go vote for the Democrats, we have our brother here from the Congo. And our brother was gunned down like an animal by a race soldier 2 years after George Floyd. The Democrats are solely to blame for that brother's execution because they have the House, they have the Senate, they have the White House, and yet they did nothing for black people, not whatsoever. There's a brother here that I wanted to, he said that his name is Terry Roberts. His brother is 57 years old. This is what our brother says. Once again, we're at the same question. Police brutality, police injustice in our community. He said, I think black men go through that. He said, we get stopped for no reason at all, or just because we're driving black. That's how it is. Now, the Democrats said, if y'all get us in here, we would change all that. We gonna make sure to rein in the race soldiers. And did that happen? And they expecting you to come out and vote for them in a few months? Because November is going to get here quick. Trust me. This year is flying by, y'all. We are halfway, over with April. Look how quick these days are passing. And they expect y'all to come out. Okay? Now, this brother was just 26 years old. And if you watch the video, this brother clearly didn't fully understand what that race soldier was telling him at all. Now, unfortunately, you have some black people and some even content creators that I even like, actually, was making comments about this brother and was saying, well, he ran so, you mean, come on, you can't be running and this and that. Now, I would not advise people to be running from the police like that. I would not advise it. I would never advise that. I always tell people that, hey, you're pulled over by the police, you know, you got to view it as you are a prisoner of war at that point. So act accordingly, right? I would never tell people to start cussing the cop out. I would never tell people to start acting a fool with the cop out, because we know how they are. Don't have court on the side of the road. But this brother had a language barrier, okay? And he ran. He ran. It's part of a race soldier's job to run and catch you, okay? And just because he ran doesn't justify that you execute that brother. There's no justification of that. I don't see how any black person can rationalize that, because one thing that white folks don't do is rationalize anything of black people doing something to their people. Even when they people in the wrong, they still don't rationalize black people harming their people. I don't care what black folks are doing to each other, can care less. When it comes to other groups harming us, we all got to get on alert about that. But what happens is, and what the messaging is from even some black people, well, because we have crime, everybody got crime. Crime is in every community. That's an old coon statement to be trying to justify crime in our community as a reason for, or it's okay for a race soldier to do what this race soldier done to this brother here. I don't care about all that back and forth about black Americans versus African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants. I can care less about that when it comes to something like this. Because listen, I look at that as a family discussion, and families argue. It happens all the time. But when other people try to touch family, whether it's the immediate family or cousins, something like that, we supposed to get all on code about that. After we take care of that issue, then we go back, you know what I'm saying, to arguing about whatever. And I understand some of our distant cousins have been off code a lot, but they're finding out the hard way, a lot of them. And these hard lessons they're finding out is just going to make what we had said louder. You understand? You ain't got to be screaming it from the rooftops. Aha, we told you. No. Life will teach you a lesson to listen. You understand? Life. And life has been teaching some of them. But the Democrats, this is solely their fault. This is completely their fault. They did nothing about the race soldiers. They're not going to do anything about the race soldiers. Let me let you know that. You have old Clyburn saying, stop sloganizing. Stop sloganizing. We ain't trying to defund the police. Now, I've never been on one to say defund the police. I always said to punish the police. Taking away money from them and still allowing them to have qualified immunity and all this immunity of law that they have to do whatever the hell they want to do to you. That doesn't, really help anything, to be honest with you. So you have to punish the police. And this is the thing. They have laws on the books. It's not legal to just be doing what they're doing. It's not. But they don't enforce these laws. At least with us, they don't. Because let a black police officer do this to a white person. Exactly what you see in this video. Exact same scenario. Oh, he pulled over the white person because of the license plate didn't match with the car. And the white person tried to start running. The black cop do the exact same thing, word for word, everything said the same, every action the same. I promise you that black police officer would have been fired immediately, and that black police officer would have been charged. I've covered too many stories in the past where black police officers have done is the exact same thing as the white ones, and nothing happens to the white ones, but the black ones immediately get charges pressed upon them. So it lets you know that the laws are on the books. They just don't enforce it. You understand? But the Democrats have failed black people. And I told you, there are black people that is invested into your degradation, into your oppression, into your suffering. They get paid to keep you down. They assist the Democrat Party in keeping you down. On the plantation, we know we talk about people like Stevens from Django. They are the Stevens of our community. They love Massa, and they will cry if something happened to Massa. They don't want to be free. They're happy with the Massa giving them a job, giving them a title. Understand? Just like Stephen was happy with the title that he had on the plantation from Calvin. So much so, we have black folks in our community that are happy with the position they're given in racism, white supremacy, and it's to make sure to keep the black folks in line, because that's what Stephen was doing, keeping black people in line, not letting black folks rise up, not letting black folks get free, making sure to shut down black people anytime they're getting out of line with the programming of the plantation. And when you the Stevens of today, I know we talk about Stephen A. Smith, he's the plantation, person in the sports arena to try to keep the black, players in line. But on the political side, you got your Joy Reids, you got your Jason Johnsons, which I got into a little bit back and forth with him at Politicon some years ago. You got your Boulay Martins. You have all these people, Tiffany Cross. You have all those people that are paid very well, actually, to deliver the black vote, to keep they massa in the plantation, and to keep you down while they're wearing new clothes, while they're traveling, while they're doing everything they want to do, living and eating good. You are suffering, and that is fine for them because they're being paid very well. The Democrats not only didn't give black people anything, but the Democrats made sure to protect the Asian community. Show me the video where an Asian person, male or female, was treated like George Floyd, or treated like Breonna Taylor, or treated like our brother Patrick here. Show me the videos of Asian people being treated like Sandra Bland, being treated like Corin Gaines, being treated like Walter Scott, or Sam DuBose, or Michael Brown. Where's the videos of Asian people being treated that way? Dante Wright. Where's the Asian Dante Wright? All these examples I have given you, a lot of this has been on camera. You can go look it up right now on YouTube. And yet the Democrat Party that told you, that told me that if they get in office, if they can flip Georgia blue, that they would do something about these race soldiers. And what they did, they wouldn't protect a group of people that just got some racism dealt their way in a short period of time. They ain't been dealing with it for hundreds upon hundreds of years, a short period of time, and they gave them money. But the people that's constantly being executed on these streets behind traffic violations, they don't give black people, the Democrat Party, any kind of protection whatsoever. The black community should be outraged to the core that you're constantly getting gunned down and beat up, false charges, long jail sentences, all kinds of things happening to you. And yet when it was time to actually give some sort of protection, they gave it to the Asian community. They lied to you. They lied to all black Americans about what they was going to do. And they have collaborators, because it's not just Boulay Martin and them now. It's just not. All the Congressional Black Caucus is collaborators too. All of them. Every last black politician that's there, they collaborators. They know what's going on with black people. They know. They do nothing about it. Nothing. Nothing. Even when you talk about black immigrants, look at the way Biden's Border Patrol treated the Haitians. But I thought the Congressional Black Caucus is always talking about immigration, immigration, immigration. But they said nothing about the Haitians until people online start screaming about the Haitians. Say, look at the way they being treated. They're not being let over the border. Oh, because they don't speak Spanish? That's why they not let in here? And then they finally came out later because they stayed quiet when all this happened. Now, a peep came out of them until they slave master say, okay, you can speak about it now. This is what we're dealing with. This is our black representation is in America. A bunch of sellouts. A bunch of people that's bought and paid for. We have Maxine Waters going to homeless people, telling them to go home. Go home to homeless people. But this is our black representation in America, folks. And we supposed to come out in November and reward that party that blatantly lied, and not only lied to us, but rubbed it in our faces that they would do for everybody else except black folks. Rub it in our faces. They gave money to everybody, even Ukrainians getting money. It's not even citizens of this country, but they telling you some BS about a study. But yet they can cut checks anytime they get good and ready because they print the money. You should be in a constant state of outrage about the Democrat Party. And I've had people come into the comment section telling me, well, you know, I'm still going to vote Democrat. Well, you know, if you want to do that, that's your choice. I can't force you. But because there will be those that will be completely lost among us. They could listen to me talk about this every day. They couldn't even debate me on what the Democrats have done to black folks, and they know good and well I'm right. But they've been so programmed, as I've told you before, in the black community for white Jesus and Democrat. That is the religion of black America. And it's the majority of the religion with black America. The only thing that I can say that's a plus in our column is every day those people that have the mindset of white Jesus and Democrat, they're leaving the earth. And what's replacing them is more people that think like me. And I think like a lot of you who's watching, you're fed up, you're tired, you feel disrespected, completely disrespected. You feel hoodwinked, a lot of you, because some of you did vote for them. You see all the symbolism, politics, and you had enough. There's some of you that have even told me, you know what? I used to vote for them people. I even voted for them people in the last election. And I regret that, and I will never vote for them again. Never. I'm having black people telling me that I'm never voting for them. So either I'm going to just sit it out or I'll vote Republican. But that's the only two choices I got right now. But I'm never giving them a vote. They are so anti-family. They're so anti-family. And we talking about the traditional family. They think about it. The Democrat Party never promotes the traditional family. We know in our community, we need fathers in the household. We know that. We know we need a mom and a dad in the household to raise our children. This party don't promote that. They promote every other thing outside of that. And that's not what we need in our community. We don't need that. And many of you don't support all that mess they got going on, because that's kind of what it is. They are far left. Far. I mean, I don't know what kind of left it is. They somewhere. I don't know. But we cannot reward this party. I think one comment said, all you're going to do is talk about the Democrats every day. You are whatever straight. I was going to say something else. You are straight on that. Yes, I'm going to talk about them every day. And the reason why I'm going to talk about them is because I know repetition gets into the subconscious. And once it gets into the subconscious, now you're going to start thinking a little bit more about everything. If you keep listening to this program, you're not going to vote for those people. You're not. or you're going to have a hard time voting for them because you're going to have so much truth in your mind that you're going to say, oh, man, shoot, I can't vote for them. I want to, though, because I was trained by my mama and my grandmama and them to vote Democrat, white Jesus and Democrat. What I'm going to do? You messing with my upbringing, Phil. What am I doing? I don't know what to do. You hurt my heart. I was taught this ever since I was 2. And you trying to tell me to do something different? And I'm 42? Yes, I'm telling you to do something different. Stop thinking about yourself and think about the children that's coming behind you. Because what a lot of y'all are doing is you're screwing the next generation of black children by being selfish and not thinking about them. The Democrat Party is not for us, and they've shown that. And we have another brother that was taken out of here by a race soldier. And we cannot no longer reward that party. You just can't. You can't. It is bottom line. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the podcast this morning. We greatly appreciate you coming by and spending time with us. You could be other places, but you chose to come here early this morning, and we appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe. Come on and subscribe. It's very easy. It's free. It's not going to hurt you. Click the like button. It's very, very important. And make sure you click that notification bell so you know exactly when we post another broadcast. And also, if you enjoy the show, make sure you leave a love offering. A love offering could be Cash App. It could be a super chat. And if those of you who did donate during the program, super chat, I greatly appreciate you. May the Lord return that to you 100-fold. Also, if you listen to this after the premiere, you can do a super thanks. We'll definitely take that as well. And anything you give, like I said, may the Lord bless you. When we talking about black Jesus, may he keep you. But thank you once again for just joining us, because I know you can be many other places, but you came here, and see you next time.